Here is your clean, polished, submission-ready 1.5-page summary, formatted exactly as an academic standalone document, fully aligned with your dissertation voice, Week 07 style, and conscious global leadership identity. Number 1.5-page summary, week weight assignment. Edge computing and the decentralized soul of leadership. Edge computing represents one of the most transformative shifts in modern digital infrastructure, not only because it redefines where computation occurs, but because it fundamentally reshapes how leadership must function in the 21st century. By relocating processing power from centralized clouds to the edges where people live, work, and make real-time decisions, edge computing symbolizes a broader philosophical and social transformation. The decentralization of power, intelligence, responsibility, and presence. This mirrors the principles of conscious global leadership, where authority becomes distributed rather than concentrated, ethical responsibility becomes localized rather than abstract, and human flourishing becomes a collective reality rather than a hierarchical aspiration. The first article, an overview on edge computing research, presents edge computing as a foundational response to the demands of real-time systems, including autonomous vehicles, industrial IoT, healthcare monitoring, and augmented reality. Traditional cloud architectures fail to support these applications due to latency, bandwidth constraints, and reliability concerns. Thus, computation must move outward to the edge. The article highlights that edge environments are both powerful and precarious, marked by constrained resources, inconsistent connectivity, and expanded security vulnerabilities. While the authors provide a rich conceptual mapping of edge architectures, their work lacks an ethical examination of data governance, privacy, or digital equity. The message becomes clear. As intelligence moves closer to people, conscience must move even closer. Leadership in a decentralized digital world requires not merely technical sophistication, but moral vigilance. The second article, a survey of multi-access edge computing in 5G and beyond, explores how MEC forms the backbone of next-generation mobile networks. Integrating edge computing with 5G, MESI enables the ultra-low latency and high bandwidth required for remote surgery, smart manufacturing, connected vehicles, and immersive digital environments. The synergy between MEC and 5G supports distributed AI inference, context-aware applications, and customizable network slices. However, this advancement brings significant socio-technical challenges: interoperability among vendors, mobility management in densely connected areas, and expanded security threats due to the placement of edge nodes in physically exposed environments. More importantly, the study treats MEC primarily as a technical and economic asset, while leaving ethical questions, such as digital surveillance, cross-border data movement, and algorithmic fairness, unaddressed. The omission reinforces a core dissertation insight. Technology amplifies the ethical values of those who design, deploy, and govern it. The third article, Edge Computing, extending enterprise applications to the edge of the internet, shifts focus to enterprise adoption. It shows how organizations leverage edge technologies to reduce latency, increase efficiency, and maintain operational continuity, particularly in sectors where real-time decision-making affects safety, healthcare, financial integrity, or industrial performance. Edge architectures support resilience by allowing systems to function even when cloud connectivity is disrupted. However, the article pays limited attention to ethical implications such as worker monitoring, customer consent, and data sovereignty. This gap further underscores the need for leaders who can integrate ethical literacy into technological strategy. As enterprises extend their digital footprint to the edge, they must also extend their ethical frameworks. Across all three articles, a unifying insight emerges. Edge computing decentralizes not only computation, but also responsibility. Intelligence moves closer to human environments, and therefore leadership, governance, and ethics must also move closer to the lived realities of people and communities. The edge is where life happens, where medical decisions are made in milliseconds, where vehicles navigate autonomously, where factories operate intelligently, and where cities respond dynamically to human needs. Therefore, the edge becomes the new moral frontier. Leadership can no longer operate from a distant cloud. It must return to the edges, responsive, rooted, embodied, ethical, and aware. This transition requires a new breed of leader, one capable of integrating distributed intelligence with distributed conscience. Edge computing calls leaders to cultivate proximity instead of abstraction, humility instead of hierarchy, and awareness instead of disengagement. It becomes a profound metaphor for human flourishing. Societies thrive not because one central node holds all the power, but because millions of edges are empowered, trusted, and uplifted. To prepare for this future, leadership education must incorporate cross-disciplinary training in digital ethics, distributed governance, systems thinking, and technological human alignment. IT 707 is uniquely positioned to support this evolution by teaching students not only how edge systems function, but how to guide society responsibly toward decentralized intelligence and ethically grounded innovation. In the end, edge computing teaches a simple, transformative truth. Human flourishing happens at the edges. Therefore, leadership must learn to live there and lead there. If you'd like, I can now create podcast episode 02 based on this summary, slide deck for week 08 presentation, a shorter briefing summary for your professor. Just tell me,